Jesse, I feel like one of our major problems is we don't have a sugar daddy Soros on our side. The commies have no problem dumping millions into a race they will lose. We can barely get funding for races we can win. Our side is more transactional than theirs, says his name is Rob. You are correct, but we should also understand this some aspect of this here. You know how I say the Democrat Party is a 20% party without FFC, fraud, foreigners, and cheating, right? Please keep this in mind. One, there are foreign countries like China who have deep, deep, deep pockets who are desperate to have Democrats take power in this country because Democrats are as communist as the Chinese are. So we have to run up against that. How much money has China spent on domestic communist activism in this country? A lot. A lot. Look up the Singham Network, and it's a lot, all right? So that's one part of it. Here's another part of it. Because Democrats have no morals whatsoever, because they're communists, because they believe in using power to keep power and get more power and punish their enemies and reward their friends, Democrats set up networks where they will steal from the taxpayer, and some of that money flows back into Democrat campaigns and communist campaigns. They've been doing this stuff for years. They find ways to swindle people and use it for the communist cause. We're essentially dealing with bank robbers. I want to remind you, again, one of the most amazing stories ever. Democrats, through their own negligence, are responsible for the burning down of the Palisades in Los Angeles. All right, so the Palisades burns down. It's very, very sad. People losing their homes. Very sad, right? Then they put on a fundraising concert, and it is sold as, we are going to help the victims of the Palisades fire. They raise $100 million because people are so generous, especially Americans, when it comes to helping others. $100 million. And the communists just stole it all. They raised $100 million and they just sent it all to communist groups. It's not just that they have a George Soros and we don't. We are dealing with the pocketbooks of foreign governments, and we're dealing with thieves. The bank robber up the road who knocks off a new bank every weekend is probably going to have more loose cash than you are going to have because you don't do that kind of a thing. That's what we're dealing with in Democrat-controlled areas. California's a big one because everyone's talking about that right now, but this applies to everywhere. Massachusetts, New Jersey, Minnesota, obviously. A Democrat-controlled area is a gigantic criminal cartel. I've explained this over and over and over again. It is a criminal cartel where the government will simply set up a crime network where they will help criminals steal large amounts of money. The criminals, because they're given legal protection, will in turn make sure a generous sum of that money flows back into the campaign coffers of Democrats, and on and on and on we go. The Democrat Party is a criminal cartel. That's how it works. It's not that we don't have a sugar daddy. Look, we have gigantic donors. But listen, there's an aspect to that too that's a problem. You need money in politics. You do. You have to have it. It's how you run for office. It's how you pay people. It's how you buy commercials. But you have to have money. You have to raise money in politics. Sucks, but it's true. Don't ever be that person who says something like, we got to get the money out of politics. It's the dumbest, lamest thing I've ever heard in my life. There's no such thing as getting the money out of politics. It doesn't exist. So we have to have big donors. You need big donors to write big checks. Many, not all, many of our big donors want foreigners in the country. They just do. Illegal ones, legal ones. Our big donors are almost all, obviously, big business people, and big business people don't give a crap about hiring Americans. They care about the bottom line. They want illegals picking the crops. They want legals. Hey, I've got a data center. I can't really hire any Americans. Could I get 10,000 more people from India? And if that person has written a large check to your campaign, Republicans find it hard to say no. Remember that story we just read about Donald Trump? I don't know if I still have it on my phone because I don't want to mess up the numbers, but Trump himself's terrible on it. Oh, yeah, here it is right here. This is from the Wall Street Journal. President Trump approved more H-2B visas for foreign workers after meeting with associates who have ties to his business. Donald Trump went golfing with some rich guys and came back and doubled the amount of visas. That's what we run up against. The big donors want more foreigners. They just do. So Democrats are busy handing over your country to murderers and rapists. Republicans aren't as strong on it as they used to be, or as they should be, I should say. However, I want to encourage you again with this. We have a new, younger generation of Republicans who are solid on this issue, outstanding, frankly, on this issue. This is a United States Senator here, Eric Schmidt.
Well, we were betrayed by the globalists and elites, and this is what President Trump tapped into when he came down the escalator. The people that I grew up around in working class Missouri and all across this country, they were betrayed because their jobs, their good blue-collar jobs, went to China and would look for other work. The country was flooded with illegal immigrants that depressed wages and took those jobs. Now we're seeing it in the white-collar world.
White-collar jobs, yeah.
Absolutely. The H-1B program, look, we don't have a shortage of talent. What's happening is these big companies are hiring cheaper labor and who are going to be more compliant because they're only here for the term of the visa. You also see it in the university setting with the OPT program. They get these foreign students to pay full freight, and then they're guaranteed a job afterwards, and they pay them less, and the corporations don't have to pay taxes for the next year. So we have a legal immigration problem we need to address in addition to the illegal immigration problem we're taking on as well.
We're getting better. We are getting better. I know it's slow, but we are getting better.